Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and they normally come in the form of actors, artists, musicians, business people, politicians, royals, and the occasional serial killer. But today I will be analyzing the chart of someone who is a singer-artist, but she transitioned from social media stardom. She was the most followed person on TikTok, and now she's an emerging pop princess. And of course, I'm talking about Addison Rae. So she's just released her debut album. It's doing really well. It's doing really good numbers. It's getting great reviews. And that's amazing because she's someone, if we're talking about the music industry here, she's someone with, at the moment, she's very limited in terms of her voice. She's not a vocalist. And I'm as far as I'm aware, she does write her own songs, but that's something she had to learn. I feel like since Saturn's been in Pisces, she's put herself through a boot camp, and the fruits of her labor are really paying off. So she's done really well, and I think she'll continue to go from strength to strength and grow. I think she's a really interesting personality. She's got a lot of mystique. And I just wanted to have a look at her chart and talk about who I think she is, like her personality, what she's motivated by, and potentially where she's going in terms of, her career as a pop star. So I do hope you enjoy this reading today. Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know I have a class in July, on July 24th, 25th. It just depends on what time zone you're in. It's a 2-hour class, 45-minute presentation, 75-minute Q&A discussion, and I will be talking about the first house, the ascendant. So I'll be going through all the rising signs. I will be talking about planetary aspects to the ascendant, as well as the planetary placements in the first house. So if that's something that interests you and you love to pick my brain and have a discussion with me, we're doing that on July 24th, 25th, and I would love to see you there. And of course, if you attend, you get a workbook designed by me with answer pages. You get a copy of the presentation and the Q&A. You get a copy of the PowerPoint, everything. And I really look forward to seeing there. And I did this literally a week ago, and it was such a fulfilling experience. And before I ever was an astrologer, I was a teacher. So I'm starting to lean into that now, and I'm going to eventually start phasing out readings. So if you would like a reading from me, hop on it now. I do 15-minute recorded readings, so recording of my voice, analyzing your chart. I do synastries, I do full chart readings, I do transits, and then I do 5-minute ones as well for specific areas of your chart, for specific parts of your life. And then I also do astrocartography readings. So if that interests you, please book it now because eventually they'll phase out. I also have a YouTube members. It's £5 a month. It's just one tier where I post extra content. And if you don't want to do any of that, but you'd love to support me, please like, subscribe, comment, click the bell. I really appreciate help with the algorithm. So thank you so much, guys. And I'm always very appreciative for whatever help, whatever support you give me. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about Addison Rae. So she is a Libra sun. She has a moon in Aquarius. She has a Gemini rising, a Mars in Virgo, and she's got Mercury and Venus in Scorpio. So yeah, she's so intriguing. Okay, so what do we talk about that first? Let's talk about her public persona. Okay, so the highest point in the chart is the midheaven, right? You can see it here. It's like MC, yeah? And it indicates your public persona, your duty to the world, what the world wants from you. Not what you want from the world, but what the world wants from you and who you have to be in order to make the money, right? Which can be really difficult if you don't have personal placements up here. It can be very demanding. And that's the case for her. However, she's really leaning into it now. And she does have some favorable... We'll talk about aspects and planetary placements in relation to this. But she's a Pisces midheaven, which is the most impractical sign to have on the cusp of what should be a practical house. I see a lot of artists, I see a lot of witches, I see a lot of therapists and people working in mental health care and hospitals. I see a lot of people with Pisces midheavens because Pisces is associated with Neptune and Jupiter, and it's to do with it's heaven, it's hell, it's spirituality, it's loss, it's sacrifice, it's iconography, it's iconoclasm as well. So it's a very difficult sign to navigate on this in this particular part of the chart. Okay, Gemini risings have a little bit of a hard time when they got a midheaven in Pisces, but with Saturn moving through there the last couple of years, she's made this very like gradual, very slow transformation. Like honestly, this transformation should be studied. Like the way she's turned her image around is wild. She has so much more mystique now. Her charisma, like she has such charisma. She's gorgeous to look at. Yeah, but she's really leaned into this kind of almost like fairy princess mermaid fantasy, almost like a yeah, like a pop princess sex goddess image, and it's really working for her. Just even the visuals of the album, very Pisces, very gentle, very hyper feminine. And because Neptune is a water sign, it's a feminine sign. And her image now is very, very hyper feminine. She's softened the makeup. She's becoming a little bit more, yeah, she's just becoming a little bit, it looks more natural on her. So yeah, I really enjoy this for her. Now, the rulers of her midheaven are Neptune and Jupiter. So let's have a look at Jupiter. Where is that? It is in Gemini. So if we did this whole sign, it would be a first house Jupiter. And because Jupiter is in the same sign as her ascendant, I'm going to count it as a first house Jupiter. So there is a connection to her physical body and the success that she has as an artist, as a singer. It's not just, obviously she's not the strongest vocalist, but she's going to lean in a lot into her physical appearance. So that makes a lot of sense. The body is very, very important. Okay, so physical appearance, the body, very important to her success as an artist. And then she's got Neptune playing into the 9th house as well. So she needs to be working with a lot of foreigners. Now, I don't have the physical CD or anything. I haven't looked at the list of producers, but she's been working with a very diverse range of people. I think she actually wrote an album that was, I think it's produced by women for the most part, isn't it? And she has been taken under the wing of Charlie XCX. So having the other midheaven ruler playing out in the 9th house of the foreigner, long distance journeys, she's probably traveled a lot for work. She's if your midheaven ruler is in the 9th house, it can indicate that you need to be constantly studying in order to be good at your job, or constant travel. That's part of it. And there has to be some kind of like spiritual or philosophical, intellectual element with the work that you do. Now, this is her first album. This is her debut, and yeah, I mean, some of the reviewers are calling it superficial, but the work is quite vulnerable, and I think one of the songs is called New York, something like that. So she's really leaning into this foreign, intercontinental. I know New York is America, but she's doing this 9th house expansive philosophical thing along with all these superficial visuals. It's interesting work. So I can't wait to see how she develops over time, especially when the North Node goes into Aquarius. Can't wait for that album cycle. It's going to be super interesting. Now, she has a Moon-Neptune conjunction playing out in this 9th house. So, if you've got your moon in the 9th house, it's very likely that you are going to end up living overseas. It's also very likely that you didn't fit into your small town, that you were maybe a bit of a freak or a weirdo, or you just felt like you couldn't connect. And people with moons in the 9th, they find stability in the chaos. That's why they have to leave that small town and go live in a big city somewhere very often. Now, the Neptune Moon conjunction, it doesn't always have to play out as you having a dysfunctional relationship with your family, but there's a bit of a placement for it. The moon in Aquarius is also a difficult one to have. It can indicate like a disconnection from the mother, difficulty with the family. And because her moon is playing out in a public house, she seeks intimacy. She finds family, chosen family in these foreign places, in these foreign spaces. Like, she needs to be, you know, running around in a big city overseas. That's where she feels her most grounded, actually. So I do see her with this placement in the future, maybe living in London, or maybe she'll do a Tina Turner and move to Sweden, and, you know, with all those really cool record producers. So yeah, even though she started off as kind of being this American girl next door on TikTok, she's headed to a place that is much more expansive spiritually, intellectually. Yeah. Yeah, I do think she had a bit of a hard time. Her family life, like the moon with Neptune with Uranus, like that's a hard energy to navigate. And on top of that, like in terms of like interpersonal, like the domestic sphere, not easy. And then on top of that, the fourth house, which the moon is associated with, she's got a malefic in here. She's got Mars in the fourth. Mars is war, it's sex, it's anger, it's all those masculine things. I'll tell you what, you will never see her cry. You will never see her sweat. But she cries very often in the middle of the night. She throws temper tantrums in private. She's got a, and this T-square, this Mars, it forms a T-square with Jupiter, with Pluto. She was put into really difficult situations in regards to her domestic world, her parents, her family dynamic. Situations where she felt powerless, where she probably lashed out, where she felt like she had no control. I think that's why having a creative outlet is super important for her. Mars sextile Venus is really good for productivity and making beautiful things, making like those videos that she made in the early part of her career during COVID. She seems to have, I know she seems chill. And you got to remember, Libras and even Gemini, like she's got that Gemini rising, Libra sun, they can feign relaxation. They know how to do that. They know how to put on a show. They're very performative and very creative, and they, you know, air signs know how to bend and twist into the thing that you want them to be. They can come off very chill. But this is a highly anxious placement. So I just see her being in a home where bombs are always dropping. The fourth house is where you're meant to rest your head, where you're meant to feel comfortable, where you sleep, where you eat, where you take your shower. But Mars is here, and it's not in nice aspects with generational planets or in the home. So yeah, she uses it for good. I think because if she grew up in a very painful household, a lot of that energy and anxiety was put into creating art, which is those videos. Like, this is a really nice little sextile that she's got with that Mars and Venus. And remember, Mars is your masculine desires, and Venus is your feminine desires. So Mars is your motivation, Venus are your values, and when they're in a sextile, they're nicely aligned. So she's a very self-possessed person that knows how to channel her motivations, her desires, her values into something that is very abundant and very creative. But the square with the Pluto and the Jupiter, she has been in very stressful situations with that, with her family dynamics, for sure. Absolutely. I don't know too much about her family dynamic. But it doesn't look, put in the comments, to me, it just doesn't look that stable. So if anyone has any more information about it, let me know. I don't think her parents are together, right? They're not together. That's all I know. Anyway, yeah. Also, Mars and Virgo, they make the best dancers. They also make really good musicians, dancers, like something where you have to be very controlled, very intentional, methodical, and precise. That works really, really well. There's so many, like Britney Spears has that Mars in Virgo. And so many other, I actually did on Instagram several years ago, I did a little bit of a series. I did a series on Instagram about Mars and Virgo performers, dancers, talented people. Like they contort their bodies in ways that I can't even get my head around. All right. Let's talk about this air trine. So you see the sun, and she's got it in a conjunction with Pallas Athena, which is creative and strategic genius. I think the girl is a creative genius. This forms a grand air trine with Uranus and Jupiter. So a grand air trine with one personal placement and two generational placements, that's nice because it indicates popularity. Someone who has a gift for communication and not necessarily giving speeches. This is about the art. She's a fifth house sun. So even though she's a Libra sun, she's what I call a Leo Libra. She had to be an artist. There's nothing like she's the most impractical midheaven. And then her sun is playing out in an artistic house, and it's in an air trine. So the way she is an effective communicator if she has an artistic medium, and it's very abundant. It's an abundant energy, and it comes easily to her because I don't think she's the most articulate person, and that's okay. Neither is Beyonce. Like verbally, maybe not the most articulate person, but artistically, very articulate. So I can't wait to see more from her. But yeah, it does denote extreme popularity. So her star is going to continue to rise. Now, Venus and Mercury, with the vertex, her love life looks very eventful. And Venus and Scorpio is hard because it's Venus Venusian energy in a like a Martian malefic sign. There's always in vertex. It's just there's always like a fight for control. Very often Scorpio Venuses, they are in relationships where they need a lot of control or they have to submit to someone controlling them. And given that she is a Libra sun, I'm wondering if she's someone who's very submissive. And she is very in her feminine, very submissive in relationships at this point in time. What's all this squaring? What is it squaring? She's got Uranus. Yeah, Uranus squaring Venus. Not the easiest. I mean, her love life is going to be pretty eventful. I think it already is, and maybe we just don't really hear about it. Do you guys know anything about her love life? Like falling in love with people that aren't the best, like questionable characters. Even Pluto and Chiron playing out in her 7th house because her descendant's in Sagittarius. And then she's got Pluto and Chiron together here. So where she transforms the most is in partnerships. Yes, romantic, but also platonic and business. And then Chiron here is potentially this need to heal wounded people. So attracted to wounded people, attracted to people that are quite painful to deal with. And remember, Chiron and Pluto are squaring her Mars, so I do think there could be a fight for control, freedom. There could also be impulsivity issues with this. She's very, very I was just reading about Pluto square Mars. It's very determined, it's very ambitious at that person's detriment. So I also think because Pluto is playing, I know it's in the 6th, but it plays out in the 7th. A transformative, difficult 7th house, like partnership, like difficult relationship, is going to impede on her freedoms, on her ability to control her life, and also Mars is like sexuality as well. So I'm wondering if she has a very controlling partner. As if she was to go all the way and get married, that may impact her freedom to express her sexuality. So yeah, Mars and Pluto are in a war here. They don't get along. This relationship stuff, like this need for an intense partner who makes me transform, clashes with her ability to express herself, not just sexually, but also just do whatever she wants in her house. So her 7th house could be a little bit of a prison, actually. And then she's got that Jupiter square Mars as well, which can be a bit crazy. That's some impulsivity issues. We don't see this though, because she seems quite controlled though. She's very good with her image, but she hides a lot of, love her, adore her, lovely girl, okay? But she hides a lot of dysfunction and she hides it very well. Libra placements are very good at that. They can seem so together because they know how to bend and twist and become the thing that you want them to be, and you can project on them. So they are who you think they are. Like, okay. And that vertex with the Venus is Mercury and Venus together, blinded by beauty or wealth or money. Like, just it can, even though Scorpio is a very deep sign and I feel like she can fall deeply in love, when you've got Mercury, which perceives things, and Venus, the heart, together, you can be easily hypnotized by superficial things, beautiful things, things related to money or physical appearance. Like, you can just, yeah. So that's a bit of a danger. And definitely the Uranus and even Juno squaring that Venus. What kind of marriage is that, man? Gonna marry someone who's like super alternative, or someone who's very like foreign, like some kind of French lover who doesn't really want to commit to her, like, because a Venus and Scorpio wants commitment and wants something solid. But if you have squares with that, you might contradict your values and be with someone who isn't falling in line with what you actually desire in a partner. Juno is marriage. It's the asteroid of marriage. And she's got that in a very alternative sign, as it's not cooperating with her Venus. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out. Like, get with someone who's really, intellectual and very well traveled, and someone who's a bit, kind of like an intellectual wank. You know what I mean? Like, like an intellectual wanker. I could see her kind of what, not that it's the same placement, but I kind of could see her doing what Taylor Swift's done before and like be with some like uppity British dude that just looks down on pop stars and she wants to impress him. Like, I really hope she doesn't do that, but I could see her doing that with this. Who doesn't really want to commit to her fully. Anyway. Yeah. She's got nice aspects. Jupiter, both Jupiter and Saturn trine that Neptune and the moon. Again, it denotes popularity, like fame. I think as time moves on, because her moon is in a public house and it's in a conjunction with the midheaven ruler, she'll become more and more vulnerable with her work. She needs to weave a narrative. She needs to tell a story. She needs to be very curated. It needs to be curated vulnerability. She needs to be very careful. She could learn a lot from Taylor Swift. She needs to create a law. And I think she'll do that. If we look at her Saturn placement as a 12th house Saturn, Dad's missing. Does anyone have information about her father? I don't know anything about her dad. I know that her parents aren't together. That's what I know. But is he just not that present? Is he not that? She, at the moment, because the South Node is moving through her 4th house, she's not focusing on family. I think she's kind of left the home and she's right now focusing on this North Node in Pisces, her midheaven, her career, which is great. She's enjoying it. She's doing really well, but she is not. I don't want to say she's not talking to her parents, but it's just not the focus right now. And also Mars moving through the 4th house. I wonder if there's some drama currently, and she just doesn't want it. She's like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to like look pretty and do these interviews and sell millions of copies of my albums. Leave me alone, mum and dad. That's what it's giving me. Saturn's going to go back into Pisces really soon, I think September, and it's going to spend some time there until February, and then it completely moves off into Aries. She's going on tour, I think, very soon during that period. So we're about to see more of her when Saturn moves into Pisces over the last few months. I think she's going to be touring with Lana Del Rey. She's going to give us some viral moments. We'll see how that goes. And this that new moon, the moon and sun and Jupiter all sitting together in Cancer, playing out in her 2nd house of finances on her North Node. She earned a lot of money. She had a good payday this week, that's for sure. Yeah. Who's she dating? What's going on here? There's something, her love life looks a little bit, not easy transit. You know when Lilith goes over a personal placement? Ugh. It's not horror. It's not that. It doesn't have to be this devastating, horrible thing. It's just not comfortable. I'm just wondering if she's got a boyfriend he acts up, or there's just a little bit of drama there. Lilith can make things a little bit spicy, a little bit toxic. Anyway, the next 20 years with Pluto moving through Aquarius over her moon, Neptune, Uranus, Juno. Oh yeah, she's moving house. She's going to relocate. She's going to build a career in a foreign place. We'll see how this goes. That's what I see her doing. Yeah. The South Node in the 8th house with Lilith. Her destiny, okay, with the North Node in Cancer in the 2nd house, is to build her wealth on her own, because she has a history, whether it's in her past life or very early on in this current life, where any kind of abundance, any kind of material possessions, money, belong to someone else. Because if your South Node is in the 8th house, you're going to have a history where your abundance is shared with other people. Anything that is yours is never really yours. And in this lifetime, she needs to make bank, and she needs to have things that are completely her own. North Node in Cancer is about, it's about family and babies, and then maybe that's in her future. But it's getting in touch with your feminine, and if it's in the 2nd house, it's money and material possessions and saving up, saving up resources that are only yours. The things that you earn can never leave you. Even when they leave you, they never leave you. The things that you earn stay with you forever. The things that are inherited can be ripped from you at any time. So yeah, the South Node with Lilith, I'm wondering if there is a bit of a history with difficulty around shared resources and women. They could be fighting for resources, struggling to keep resources. It doesn't look easy. She's used to the grind though. If you've got your South Node in the 10th house or Capricorn, you're accustomed to the grind, and that's really, really good, because your North Node of destiny is eventually it's going to tell you to relax into your feminine and go with the flow. And all the discipline that you learned early on in life is beneficial for you later to build that wealth. So yeah, it looks pretty comfortable. Very hardworking girl. She's going to do super well. She's going to grow her profile. She's iconic. Pisces is the sign associated with iconography. Anyway. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Oh my goodness, 28 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.